Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. At least Trey Holloman tried to get a technical in your honor. Happy birthday to you. Contractually obligated to do that. It's the big man's birthday. Happy birthday, Carter. Appreciate all that you do. Wisconsin beats your Michigan State Spartans in the Big Ten tournament semifinal. 77-74 was the final. This was a very entertaining back and forth game with a lot of drama, a lot of calls, and a lot of great play as well. What was your biggest takeaway?
Yeah, I thought this was a really good game. Unlike the first matchup, John Tanji and Wisconsin were a lot better from the 3-point line, a lot better from the field in this game. And look, this loss for Michigan State hurts. It sucks because you get to this point, and obviously you want to win a Big Ten tournament banner, but you got to really just kind of tip your hat to Wisconsin. I mean, they made all the plays down the stretch, and John Tanji was just incredible, truly incredible. He got to the free throw line, 14 free throws in this game, 12 for 14, didn't miss until those last two shots. And then we'll dive into a little bit more like end of the game stuff, I'm sure, once we get there. But fact of the matter is, in my opinion, Michigan State kind of had some offensive lulls there where they went, like 4 or 5 minutes without field goals. Still battled back, were able to get into a spot where they were, kind of in the game and took the lead. There was a little early foul trouble that hurt. Kohler being out, I think, hurt. It forced Zapala and Booker to play maybe a little, well, not as much, but Kohler being out, I think, did hurt the team just because I thought he could bring a lot on the boards, and he only played 16 minutes in this game because of foul trouble. Maybe would have played him a little bit more. I think we held him out a little bit too long given the situation, but I mean, there was a lot of moments in this game where Wisconsin guys were making shots, and it seemed like Michigan State guards, honestly, mainly Akins and Holloman, were kind of short arming things, short arming shots. Everything's coming up short, and we just didn't capitalize late when we needed to grab a rebound or needed to capitalize off an offensive rebound, and Wisconsin was able to.
Yeah, I thought Wisconsin just made a lot of plays first and
Yeah,
foremost, right? Like
yeah.
this was not the greatest Michigan State game by any means, but I feel like everything that went wrong for Michigan State, everything that went right for Wisconsin was thoroughly earned by Wisconsin for the most part.
Mhm.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, no, 100%. I think that it literally came down to, and I, I feel like sometimes you can get caught in the moment, or like I'll come on here after these recaps, and like after the Indiana game, I had so many things. I was like, we didn't do this, we didn't do this, we didn't do this, or there's this moment, this moment, this moment. And yes, that was kind of evident in this one, but also like Wisconsin is just a good team, and they got some good players, and they made plays, and they made shots, and they made the timely things when moments needed to happen, and Michigan State did not.
Yeah. John Tanji is where we need to start. 32 points on 15 shot attempts. I mean, that's a crazy number from field goal attempts to points. He was 8 for 15 from the floor, 4 for 10 from three, 12 for 14 from the free throw line. A big part of Tanji's game is getting to the line. That can frustrate anyone. It can frustrate opponents. I have called multiple Michigan State players foul baiters this year. Thought there was a lot of baiting in general on both sides in this game yet again, which
Mhm.
to my eyes is really frustrating. I hate watching games where players are playing for calls more than trying to make plays, and I thought there was a lot of that in this game. But Tanji is damn good at it. How would you sort of assess his performance and the free throw dependent nature of his performance today?
Yeah, look, look, here's how I see it. Yes, there was times when Tanji was fouled. There was times where he sold it, but I give credit to him in that case because they're calling it. If they're calling it, keep putting pressure on the rim and keep forcing the ref's hands. And he's a player who has size, he has strength. He's a couple months younger than Cade Cunningham. Like he can have that grown man type strength at times. And I don't want to discredit what he did because also like on top of the free throws, he had some elite shot making in this game. The Michigan State guards are just they were not big enough to deal with Tanji. Tanji was able to get his shot, get a little separation off that step back, and they made it really difficult. And that's what he does. He's a really good player. He's scoring 30 points numerous times this year. He averages what he averages for a reason. He doesn't just do that from the field. He's efficient from the field, but part of that and part of being a good scorer is getting to the free throw line. And he was able to do that. So yeah, it is what it is. It was I mean, he was hooping straight up.
I was gonna say, I think if I were an MSU fan, I would complain or be frustrated with the nature of Tanji's performance more if he wasn't also hitting the shots. Like
Yeah.
he was some like hand in the face fadeaway pull up off the
Yeah,
dribble.
well, I
Bah.
think I think he's on one. Like between because the UCLA game, he misses one shot. Then he comes
Yeah.
in this game and he's hooping again. He might just be locked in that little end of the year stretch where he fell off a little bit and didn't struggle the last couple games. I think he might have woke up kind of in that mode.
Yeah, he's been definitively the best player in this tournament. That's fair to say, right? Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
not even close. So
Yeah.
he finished presumably runner up for Big Ten Player of the Year, and maybe this is a little added chip on his shoulder trying to prove that. We asked in the preview, like, who was the last perimeter oriented guy to do anything like this against Michigan State? Well, Tanji stepped right up and answered it. Did you think the way Michigan State defended him, was that okay? Like, what else could you have done? You basically, I think, to my eye, you cycled through all of the guards against him for the most part, and I thought he had answers for all of them for the most part. Nobody could check him.
Yeah. I mean, I might be getting greedy saying that maybe a little bit more. Look, I mean, he gave Cohen Carr a little bit of work. He was just hooping today, to be honest with you. I don't know. I mean, the only thing you could have done was something that would have just exposed you to something else. You double Tanji, and then there's a bunch of 40% 3-point shooters around him. So there's no, I think you need to make it tough on him and try the best you can not to let him get to the free throw line. But he got there, and he also just made shots. So sometimes that's hoop.
Yeah. How many guys in the
They had
country,
chances to win this game, even with Tanji doing this.
just
So
to pivot a little bit for like big picture, because Michigan State's got a lot to play for still after this.
mhm.
How many guys in the country do you think there are that can do what Tanji did today to the Michigan State defense? Like this feels pretty one of one, right? Like I don't know how many other guys could replicate this.
I mean, there's definitely probably some guards that could do this across, like maybe like a Haggerty type. I'm trying to think of like who's like a just a super scoring kind of wing 6'5" guy in the country. Is it? I mean, a Lanier would I think we struggle with, but also like Taji has a handle too. Like he does a great job of like getting his shoulder into. He steps back and he's 6'4" and he's 6'5". So like
Right.
he's gonna get the shot off, and he has a he can score the basketball. The dude's a certified bucket. I mean, what would you have done differently in this game, do you think? If like what would the adjustment have been?
It's hard because I don't think you can double him, because if you double him, that gets the Wisconsin shooters going. Now, again, they only shot 31% from three in this game, 9 for 29. That's 5% worse than they normally shoot. I was joking at the end because Tanji is what, a 90% free throw shooter?
Six in Division 1 in percentage.
He is a 91% free throw shooter. Wisconsin as a team is the, literally not an exaggeration, the number one free throw percentage shooting team in NCAA history.
Yeah.
And with the game on the line, a 91% shooter misses both. And I couldn't help myself, Card. I went back to the joke from the last preview. Oh yeah, that wasn't luck. That was Michigan State forces everyone to miss shots they normally make. You know?
Yeah. But
Yeah,
I mean, look, it even with Tanji's performance, there's a bunch of moments I can point to where Michigan State had chances to make plays, and I just don't think they made it. A team that's been great rebounding team all year, that last like box out play, whatever with Blackwell, I think that hurt, not being able to get that rebound on that in that possession.
yeah. And as you mentioned, those are plays Michigan State nearly always makes, right? So when you're winning a game because of some key hustle plays late against Michigan State, I think it's just a tip your cap moment. It's very, very rare that Michigan State loses a game in the nature they lost today. So, tip your cap. Wisconsin was up for the challenge. I said in the preview as well, I think these two teams have been the two best teams in this league. This game very much had like a Big Ten tournament championship feel to it. We'll see what happens in the other semifinal. Maryland looks great right now. We're about to record this. This game hasn't started, but my gut would be that it's Maryland, Wisconsin. Hopefully, it lives up to this game. But to me, respect to Maryland, this was the two best teams in the Big Ten, and the best player on the floor just beat the other team today.
Yeah. Oh, and so another thing I wanted to say, Jay's still incredible. Jay's still incredible, truly. That dude's just so good, and it sucks though. The only thing that sucks about this game the most to me is that I thought down the stretch they actually had chances to like make plays and make layups, and things were just kind of short. And as great as Trey Holloman has been this year, his technical foul went sideways in this game. And then on that last possession, eh, his not having the wherewithal or the thought to shot fake in that situation, when you can clearly see he's about to sell out on that. Also, like great. I don't know how he even got that open on the trail, Trey Holloman, but that's a good set, good idea by Michigan State in that situation. Not saying he makes that three, but it would have been the perfect pump and pump fake, go to the side, bang that three. I think back to also the one where the shot clock was going down. We were down 3 points, and Wisconsin fell asleep, and Fears kicked out the Akins on the left wing for like a wide open three. Thought that was going to be good. That clanked off. I mean, you had the chances to make it. You had the chances to make plays there, and on the other end, I feel like I got to give credit to guys like Carter Gilmore, who hit some really timely threes for Wisconsin. And you look at the stat line, Gilmore plays 30 minutes in this game. He gives you 10, 5, 5, 3 blocks.
Yeah, he had the
Um,
huge block at the
and,
end
and he
too.
had the
Yeah.
huge block on the end of Trey Holloman. Like,
Yeah.
credit to those guys making plays. Wisconsin's a damn good team. I've been saying Wisconsin's a really good team. And I think this was a battle of two really good teams. And one team was just better in this game.
Yeah. Yep, felt like I mean that Wisconsin didn't make the shots for it to be an A plus, but I thought like defensively and just in general what they were doing, Blackwell and Tanji like were not punked in this game like a lot of
Yeah.
backcourts have been. This was an A game from Wisconsin. It felt like now I'm doing the Michigan State thing I picked at last night, but this was like a B minus C game for Michigan State, right? He played fine, didn't play awful, didn't play good by any means. Actually, again, shot it well again, 37% from three. So if you've been waiting for the shooting numbers to be okay, Michigan State kind of picked it up. But yeah, I don't know. Just like I said again, Michigan State did enough. Wisconsin, I thought, took it. And you tip your cap. They're one of the only teams in the country that can take it from Michigan State. A couple things I want to ask you about quickly. Saw a couple people tweet on this, and I agree with it, but just want to pulse check it with you.
Mhm.
Shimon Zapala, 9 minutes as the starting center, 0 points, 0 for 1 from the floor, 1 rebound. He is giving you, I mean, I don't even know how to compare it to anything. He's giving you the least production of any starting center in the country.
He should
What
he,
it is.
he should not play.
He had 0 and 1 this game. He had 2 and 3 the game before this in 11 minutes, 2 and 3 the game before this against Michigan, 0 and 1 against Iowa. That's not a starting center, but he's
No,
starting. I
no.
just don't get it at this point. You got him doing that, and then you got Booker in 4 minutes off the bench. Missed a free throw, missed a three, 2 turnovers in 4 minutes. The hard part with this is that you don't have all this crazy front court depth. It's all guards on this team, right? So like if you aren't playing Zapala and Booker at least a little, does it turn into you need 35 minutes from Cooper and then a few minutes of Kohler at the five? Like what can Michigan State
The
do?
combination of those two guys being unplayable cannot be combined with Kohler being in foul trouble.
Okay.
It just that's what I kind of contributed to. It can't, because those two guys are unplayable. Kohler has to stay out of foul trouble, and unfortunately, he got into foul trouble in this basketball game, and that sat him out for most of the first half,
Yeah.
almost all the first half.
Yeah. Okay. Um, yeah, maybe just a thought on like where is this team still vulnerable? Because it
Hmm.
hasn't felt like there's anything a team can do to attack Michigan State. Maybe Wisconsin sort of exposed this at the very last second. If you get Kohler in foul trouble, they're going to have to go smaller than they want to go. And you just right now, you can't play Zapala or Booker.
Yeah, I mean they Wisconsin they do a great job with, like, they have like the dribble handoff, dribble side screen, and I thought those guys, the guys in Wisconsin, it was Tanji or Blackwell, whoever it was, they came off that aggressive, and they put pressure on the rim. They got to the line, and that's 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 good basketball.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Quickly before I get to one big thing I have on this, Fears was really good, I thought. 14 points, 6 assists, 1 turnover. He played 26 minutes. He's had a string of good performances. He was good in the game before this against Oregon. I thought it was arguably his best game of the year. He had better production in this game than he did against Oregon. Do you think there is something going on with like a late season surge from Jeremy Fears right now?
I think he's doing a great job of getting to the basket and finishing. I think he was very aggressive in this game, and he is not the biggest kid, but he is like kind of sturdy and strong, and he uses his body well. And I thought he did a great job of. I feel like maybe it's a step in his process that now he's not just. I mean, he's driving. Obviously, he wants to get fouled, but I think also like he kind of keeps his head up and looks to score. And I think that Michigan State needed it in this game, given where Akins and Holloman were at.
Yeah. Yeah, still, it's a lot of puzzle pieces in the Michigan State backcourt. I still feel somewhat strongly that like in certain moments I want the three shooters on the floor. But like
Hmm.
Akins wasn't very good in this game, and it is a huge boost when you get this type of production out of Fears. Because Fears can play a lot of minutes and still give you things, good defensively, all that leadership. But if it doesn't come with the production, it becomes harder to justify. In the last two games, I feel like the production is finally matching all the little non-box score things he does, and
Yeah,
suddenly he's becoming a legitimate, real key piece of this in the last two games.
yeah.
I had, to my eye, tell me if you agree with this. I thought there were two stretches in this game, very singularly two moments in this game that shot Michigan State in the foot hugely. Any
Mhm.
guesses on what those two are?
Is one the Holloman technical?
That's the big one. That's the second one. There was one that happened before that, which we kind of already touched on.
Oh, what was it? What was the one before that? Sorry.
Xavier Booker's 4 minute stretch
Dog.
basically gave Wisconsin a 7-0 run.
Right.
Killed Michigan State had jumped on them early, had a big sort of just good vibe, good mojo to it. And then you get Book in the game, and he had two turnovers. One of them, I mean, it's a wide open three.
And
It's a
he dropped the ball out of bounds.
just wide open three pass hits him in the hands. He could have held it for 7 seconds and shot a three. And instead, he just can't catch. It goes out of bounds. Look, weird
Just
plays happen. That's fine. Did you
broken.
see Jace Richardson when that happened?
Oh no, what did he say?
He turned straight to the bench and just had a demonstrative. And I understand I'm a body language guy, but wouldn't be stunned if that's the last time we see Book step on the floor. Just straight up.
I mean, you can't. I mean, you can't play him. He's unplayable. Actually, another small moment that I thought hurt us. I can't remember exactly what it was. It was more close to the end of the game. I want to know if you saw it too. Jace,
Crowell.
huh?
Crowell was switched on to Jace.
Yes, and he was asking for the ball back, and Fierce swung it to Akins, and Akins drove and missed it. And literally, Jace was like, "Give me the ball back! Like I
He was
want the ball."
pissed. Now,
And
again, I'm a body language PhD guy, and I understand we've been critical of Fears for body language. We've been critical of a lot of people for body language. I'm just going to say this. Michigan State is one of those teams, one of those programs where I think guys can be demonstratively angry with each other,
mhm.
and it doesn't mean anything that's going to hurt the team super big long term.
Yeah, and if it's those guys, like you know,
Right.
like I think like Fears and Jace maybe having a moment. Like and it wasn't even that big of a moment. I just remember it, and Jace was like literally give me the ball back, and Akins missed directly after that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just. I mean, it's a little. I mean, it's I it. Jace is in the right. He's got Crowell on him. He's cooking. He wants the ball back. Like
Well, that's the thing. Yeah. You
yeah,
got to find Jace
you
there.
got to
And that
find it.
it
You got to find
is
it back.
genius floor general passer is like I know where the ball needs to go. Centerpiece of the team superstars like I'm gonna cook this dude. If those two things don't match, that is not good for Michigan
Right.
State. And that happened in this game. The other sequence, look, I'd be curious what your actual thoughts on this are because I think you could minimize it, downplay it, and I would be open to that. But bottom line is this: Trey Holloman's technical was completely avoidable.
Yes.
I think when looking at it on replay, he had to get teed up for that.
Yes.
Like just waving his arms demonstratively. One of his arms hit, I think, Crowell as he was going. It didn't look like he was going after a player. It looked like he was going after the official.
Hmm.
But two arms up in the middle of the Wisconsin huddle, your arms are hitting a Wisconsin player. Greg Gard is standing right next to you, looking at you like, "What are you doing?" And just chirping, just the constant chirping, which is something that is the reality of this team and has been a part of what makes them special and a nightmare to play against. But your team never shuts up.
Yeah.
And for much of the season, it's been beneficial. And
Hmm.
if anything, you've almost like instigated the opponents to either crumble or do something dumb that gets them in trouble. But in this game, I thought Holloman absolutely killed you. You had what, like wasn't it a 3 or 4 point lead at that point?
Yeah, and there was a 9-0 run, I think, after that, maybe 11-0.
An immediate kill shot from Wisconsin coming out of the timeout that started with the two Tanji free throws. That just is such an unacceptable mistake for me. And it's something that Holloman has been flirting with for the last month. And I feel like he's kind of been celebrated as like the tough guy here, but he's got to know what the line is. You can't do
Yeah.
that in a
And
close game with a team that can actually beat you.
and credit to Izzo, because I can't remember who was reporting on what Izzo said in the huddle, but he's like, I've been telling you for weeks, like you're going to hurt us by doing this. That is stupid. Like you just cannot do that and hurt the team. Like I get it. It's part of like this team, like their DNA is to talk shit and to chirp and to instigate. And you don't want to take that away. And I guess this is my stance. You don't want to take that away, but you can still do that and be smart. And I thought in that moment he was not smart about it, and it hurt the team directly, especially because not only did it hurt the team that he did that, Holloman also had some offensive possessions in there where he was clanking layups and shots. So like he didn't even get himself going in that moment. So, you know, it hurt the team. It was also like at a point where too, you can't justify a technical. It's not like the team was dead or needed some energy or something like that. It was like you said, completely unavoidable.
Yeah,
It was for no reason.
I like Holloman a lot when he's looking for his jumper. I don't like Holloman when he's trying to put the ball on the floor and do shit at the rim. He's shooting 44% this year from 2 point range. I just don't think that's part of his game. And he's been, for whatever reason, the confidence is great. It definitely gives this team an edge. But I just feel like he's playing a little bit out of his own abilities on the floor, and he's acting a little bit out of logic. Like
Mhm.
I don't know how else to describe. It's great. Every team can have a psycho. I know you love him. Jigathon got a Jigatech in this game. Almost tweeted that, and yeah, I don't know. The one thing I will say. So what makes you say that Izzo has been on him for weeks about this?
No, that's what the sideline reporter said that
Oh,
he said
really?
in the huddle.
Okay. I'd be curious about that because I mean, he basically honored him on the senior day ceremony in a way that does not exactly tell me I'm not happy with the way you've behaved here. Like,
Mhm.
I don't think you can have it both ways. You can't like make it this huge endearing, we're so proud of you for being our toughness and antagonizing and chirping and creating conflict and then
Well, I think it's different in it's different in the other moment. Like it wasn't the game was over. It didn't hurt the team. I think Izzo realized that this one was one that directly was unnecessary and hurt the team.
okay.
I also might be wrong too, by the way, on the whole what the halftime reporter said. I just know that Izzo was chewing his ass out, and like the assistants had to separate them because like
Yeah.
Izzo was livid.
I mean, we know Izzo loves his team. And look, we need to move on from the moment, but you're right. Like objectively, that was a completely different situation. There's special circumstances, obviously, that I can understand. I just like if you're trying to not feed into Trey Holloman potentially creating problems with his chippiness, maybe a good way to do that wouldn't be to celebrate crazy things he's done in recent weeks. Like, it's not exactly a surprise to me that Trey Holloman thinks he's untouchable when being a psycho. You
That
know?
and also I it sucks though, and I know this is me projecting. I think if Jaden Akins was playing better, I don't know if Holloman would have saw the floor.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think Izzo was that mad, but Akins was so bad that we had to play another guard and we needed it. But
Yeah.
I think there would have been a moment where he might not have got back in.
Yeah. No, it's completely fair. I would like it known I am planning to sell shirts with the player's trunk commemorating Gigathon's technical here. So I'll have links for those out by later tonight. Thank you to Charles Matthews for helping me set that up. Okay, last thing from me on this game, unless you have anything else you want to go to after. The Big Ten tournament is a very strange event every year. I always remember feeling this way when my team loses and other things happen. But it's one of those events where when you're in it, when your team still has life, you're
Mhm.
watching it and you want it almost as bad as anything else. Like it's just fun. The spectacle of being at the same place as all these other teams, a big game crowd to it. It feels like the postseason. And just as it's going, you want to win it. And then when you lose, it's really weird. It's one of those events where you lose and you can almost like feel like you don't care that you lost, because maybe I'm oversimplifying that, but it's like, whatever. We got the
I
bigger thing next week. This really didn't matter that much, you know?
no, no,
So where are you at right now? Where do you think this team is at?
I'm in that spot. And I also think it has a lot to do, not to constitute how you lose, but like in this fashion to a good basketball team. Yes, it sucks. It's not the end of the world. I got a 2 seed. I'm going to the tournament. Let's rest up. I'm fine with that, right? But like if you look on the other side, you have other teams that are like limping in. Like Purdue is not feeling great about this. They needed like some, I mean, maybe they needed the rest, but they needed like some Big Ten tournament momentum. We didn't get like dog walked off the floor where our team looked like they ran around with their heads cut off all game. It was just a basketball game, like I said, like we stated, where they made more plays. So yeah, like I'm not trying to do like I don't care about losing. It sucks to lose and like you're there, so like you might as well try to win the game. But at the same time, you know, we're healthy and in a tournament where I see players going down left and right. So uh yeah, I think it's a weird feeling with the Big Ten tournament. Like you're putting all your heart into it, and then immediately after losing, if you're at a level where you're in the tournament feeling good, you're kind of like, oh well, okay, it's whatever.
Yeah, it's I can totally see that. I think everybody wants to win it for the most part, but yeah, it's just one of those things that's kind of easy to just like shrug off when it goes wrong. And I think that is the right thing. Any jokes I might make aside, I think that's the right approach for Michigan State. Nothing changes from this result. You have the same seed that you were going to have coming into the tournament. The
Mhm.
only thing that changes is this is a program that prides itself on winning. And what was Holloman's quote earlier this week? Like basically there's shit to play for. We're gonna play for it,
Yeah,
right?
if we're in it, like some like if we're in it, we want to win it type shit.
Yeah, I forget what it was. He used like a word of like something you get when you win something, and it just spoke well for the program, right? Like if there's stakes here to play for, Michigan State's going to play for it, and I think it's one of those things where like they did play for this, they came up short. Maybe there's some lessons you can take from that before the NCAA tournament, and maybe part of those lessons include, hey, let's clean up the rotations a little bit. Hey, maybe let's not go psychopathic at the refs in the other team's huddle. Like, let's just everybody rein it in. Let's be on
Yeah.
our A game and still be the great defensive team that we are, and have Jace be the superstar next week.
Yep. Facts.
Yeah. Last two things for me. John Tanji is the first player with a 30-point game in 3 wins over top 10 teams in a single season since Kemba Walker.
That's crazy.
41 points in their win over Arizona, 32 in the win over Purdue, 32 in the win over Michigan State today. Say what you want about Tanji and the way he hunts getting to the free throw line. That man, his
Don't.
season's been
Yeah.
unbelievable.
I said it to you, and I don't want to take anything away. That dude's a bucket. That dude is
Yeah.
a legit bucket from anywhere on the court at the hoop. Well, what's you know what? Let's uncover an old phrase we haven't brought up in like 2 years. G, 3 level scorer.
Yeah, right. He is. He's a full-time that.
Yeah,
Professional scorer is what it feels like. I think
yeah,
he'll end up with a chance in the league and
yeah. The
help
bucket.
the team. Jace was great objectively in his greatness. Most of his great moments came early.
Yeah.
I kept waiting for him to do the back-breaking clutch shit in this game, and it
Mhm.
felt like he couldn't find answers. What do you make of those moments for him late?
Yeah, I think he just there was like some I remember the one specifically where he was driving left from the right wing and instead of doing like that little float he does or maybe stop in the middle and kind of like spin back and fade one leg, he did like a little in between all the way across the lane fading out left. And I remember maybe it might have been Sadi that pulled him aside once they got because I think Kohler got fouled on the rebound and he was telling them like that's really not the shot you want right there. You could have took better shots. So look, it's hard to fault him, obviously, with the 21-7, but I do think that I was waiting for that moment to happen too, especially because we weren't getting it from anywhere else. So like it had to be Jace, and he just he didn't make it. Simple.
Did you think they
He
went
was
to him
he was
enough
one of the
late?
players that was kind of short all day as well. Like after the start of the game, like guys were kind of just like short arming stuff today.
His first 3 minute sequence was insane, though. Like,
You
I
texted me, you're
just
like, yeah, he actually is Harden.
dog that little the left to right pow pow behind the back was just God. He's so good. I love watching him. I don't know that there's a Michigan State player I've loved watching more than him. Like I loved Cassius when Cassius was great, obviously, but there's just something about this kid. I feel like I'm gonna watch him in the NBA for 20 years going forward. It's crazy.
Mm.
Did you think they went enough to him late?
Uh, I'm trying to really actually. Um,
There wasn't really a moment where I felt like, damn, they need to get Jace involved. But when the game ended, I kind of looked back and was just like, was he involved enough late?
yeah,
Like,
I didn't notice in the time being, maybe because the looks were good, but I do think there could have been more of the ball in Jace's hands.
yeah. And just so weird, there was a lot of like get to the free throw line and either make or miss your free throws. And Kohler had the
Yeah.
putback late. It was
And
weird.
and I will say, like, they kind of went away from Jace getting the ball and tried to do more so like Jace coming off a pin down, curling in. And then, there was one where he got fouled. There was also like McGee was on his hip a lot, but yeah, it just they definitely could have gone to Jace more for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Also want it known I don't like that as much. I
Yeah,
mean, I like Jace getting the ball anywhere, but I don't like it when they try to force him to do it like off screens and shit versus just give him the ball and get out of the way.
yeah, I agree.
That's it. Both work. He's great, but like I don't know how you can watch him early do the dance left to right and be like, we need to get this guy off a pin down.
I don't want to
Like,
give him a pass either, but once again, if Akins and Holloman were good, it's Akins, Holloman, and Jace down the stretch, and I think Jace has the ball in his hands a little more.
yeah, it's just hard because Fears was good. Like, yeah, I don't think
Spears
you were
was
gonna
good,
take Fears
yeah,
out. So
yeah.
I don't know. Just one of the we always end up talking about like it's guard dominoes. Which domino do you have, right? Like I don't know. You can win the game with any combination of the three of them, and it's easy to nitpick when things go wrong every time. So
No.
anyways, all right. We have not even done the end game sequence. This is going longer than we wanted. We have a lot to obviously do today. But the end game sequence, Tanji's at the line. Well, do you want to do the possessions before that? Like,
Yeah,
did you?
so I like the set to Holloman, like the
Yeah.
trail, like kind of like trailing hammer set, right?
Hmm.
Great look for Holloman. Can't believe he didn't pump fake. Like all you have to do is pump right there, one pump, left dribble, right, whatever you feel good with. Um, I think that's a good shot. It's a good thing drawn. I just don't think the execution was there, which was kind of evident of how the day went for like Akins and Holloman and those guys. Like when it came down to that moment, they weren't able to make the right play with small margins.
Was that what Michigan State wanted? They drew up a play for a trail Trey Holloman three
Mm.
on a night
I,
that he was
to,
1 for 4 from three before that shot and
to,
3 for 11 from the floor.
to be honest, I would have to go back and see what else was going on.
It felt like it in the. It felt like they got the action they wanted. Maybe I'm
Yeah,
wrong on that, but
yeah.
that
But
was like it
but
was a good set. It was a good
right.
look, but I was also
But
like, whoa.
taking a step away where we're at, obviously Jace is who the play should be drawn up for.
Or even like if you're dialing it up for a shooter, I think it's Akins, even though Akins was cold, right?
Yeah,
Like
true. Yeah, true.
to kind of go back to Trey there, unless they drew up something else and it was just the flow of the play. It was a good look, like I said. Just in
Yeah,
the end, like surprised that it was for Trey. In the end, it didn't matter who was shooting it anyway because Gilmore made the block, and what were you gonna do?
right.
But anyways, then after that, Tanji the line. I assume you're thinking it's over when a 91%
Yeah,
shooter steps the line.
yeah.
He misses the first. What do you think?
It's over.
Because he's making the second.
Yeah,
He misses the second. What do you think?
it's over.
Why?
I clocked out. I'm like this. We had our chance, and Trey Holloman didn't want to pump fake, and Carter Gilmore sent his shot. I gave
That's the
when
moment.
Taji got fouled. I clocked out mentally.
Yeah. Okay. So he He missed the second. And from my vantage point on my basement couch alone, with my wife telling me she was just taking Murph to the cousins 5 minutes before, I let out an audible yelp. And I'm not proud of it, but it was like, ah! Like it was one of those. I thought in the moment, I had the same feeling I did when I forget his name. God, the Kansas guard 20 years ago missed the 1-1, and all of a sudden Burke has a chance. I just thought somehow,
Um,
some way, this Michigan State team was going to pull it out of their ass like they always do.
mhm.
And Fears is pushing in transition. I mean, I give Fears credit on this. He got to the shooting motion as
Yeah,
Tanji's going for it. It was, if it would have been a foul call, it was shooting.
yeah,
100%, no questions asked. They don't call it on real time. I mean, it looked like a foul in real time. On the replay, it looked clean.
yeah.
I think, what was your interpretation of that?
Yeah, I mean, in real time, I was like, what the hell? Where's the foul? Which also, I took a step back. I'm like, that's crazy. You hate to call that in that situation, but I was like, I thought Tanji was trying to foul. I thought they were because I mean, I've watched Wisconsin this year, and they're a foul up three team, and I swore they were going to foul up three. So when Tanji reached in there, I was like, oh hell yeah, Fears got him because Fears is going in the shooting motion. But on the replay, it was clean, and I really I know Tanji's not going to say it. I really wonder if he was trying to, and he just got it clean, but it was clean. So I don't, you can't I can't be mad about it. It was actually a clean steal.
Yeah. Yeah, so you think he was trying to foul and not go for the steal?
I want to think so, but
The thing
also
is, I
maybe he
don't know
wasn't.
how you make that steal if you're trying to foul. Like, I genuinely think if you were trying to foul, you would not be able to come away with that clean of
Well,
a steal.
can we retroactively agree that it worked, but also say that is so stupid of him to do?
Yeah, I mean, really, really dumb. Really, really dumb. If you're trying to foul, you got to execute better than that. And yeah, I mean, would
Well,
you
do
have
you
been
do, do,
confident?
do you think it's
Fears.
even dumb to go for the steal in that situation?
I'll be honest with you. I don't hate like doing something to disrupt Fears because Fears is lightning quick. And I think if you don't like put a hand somewhere in Fears' vicinity, he's going to end up with like a decent look there.
Yeah.
Now, Fears is not like obviously he's not a great shooter. If he goes to the free throw line, he's 75% on the year. I mean, what I'm not a math guy, obviously, but like what is that? Like a slight lean that he's going to miss one of three, then make all three?
Honestly, probably good that and I don't mean that I don't know if he's making all. He might make all three, but it would have been heartbreaking for him to go to the line in that situation and miss them. But obviously, you'd rather be in that situation than not.
Yeah. He's I mean, he's such a clutch. I don't know. Weirdly like he's a gamer. I feel like he would have found a way to make him, but yeah, I don't know. I just a weird sequence, an all-time strange sequence. I guess credit to the officials for not botching that.
Yeah.
Because can you imagine if they had called a foul on that and we look at the slow-mo and it looks that clean?
Yeah, no, it was all like it wasn't even like a I see the replay, maybe he got a bit of the hand. He got nothing but ball.
Yeah. Yeah, crazy. If I'm Fears, by the way, you know how like a player will have like a cold shooting night or like miss the big shot and then basically spend the night in the lab working on getting their jumper right?
Yeah,
If I'm Fears, the moment I get back to EL, I have this clip. You know the big video board they have in the practice center?
yeah.
Just running back that last 5 seconds in sequence, and then he better get to work on his flailing because just a little extra flailing from him, the best on-ball flailer in the Big Ten, to not be able to get that call in that spot has
Hold
to be
on a
heartbreaking
second.
for him.
Hold on a second. Please respect Fletcher Lawyer.
Well, Fletch is an off-ball flailer
Oh,
usually.
off. Okay,
Fletch does a lot of his on the defensive side. I guess Vlad's on-ball flailer too. But like like you got to get back to the drawing board. If you pride yourself on being this good at getting calls, you got to get that call, right?
can I end this with one last thought?
Yes.
I want true answers, and this is going to sound mean, but I do not make it. I don't want it to sound mean. and maybe I need to go back and watch the whole Omaha season last year. Let's have a serious conversation here, G, really quick. I don't mean to go off on a tangent here. Frankie Fiddler was a 20 per game scorer at still a Division I school. How?
I mean, you know how it's exactly what he's doing now.
Like
That's
that
how
was good enough to score 20 points a game.
on one of the worst teams in one of the worst leagues in America. Yes. Like it was never a smart move for any coach and team to center their offense around that guy.
But even so, even given the awful team, awful everything, how did he get 20 points a game?
Free throws. That's literally the entire sell of his profile historically is free throw rate. That's all there is here. Like,
Ugh.
which again, that the one today he had like the float, he almost threw it over the backboard. I was dying.
It was, I bet Frankie wish he was in that situation at the end of the game to flail.
It just, it is such an interesting dichotomy. Every team has a guy or two that does it, but like Michigan State is genuinely the toughest team in America.
Mhm.
And they just also have some guys that offensively are predicated on like selling calls that maybe they don't need to even get. And
Yeah.
it's a weird compare because you know what I mean tough you don't think toughness and think like we're playing for calls. We're playing through contact is what you think of with toughness and that's just not Fiddler or Fears' offensive game to me at all.
Yeah. Sorry. I know I keep doing the one more thing. This is actually the last thing. Quickly, one hypothetical here.
Please.
If they ended up giving Big Ten Player of the Year awards after the Big Ten tournament, is there any world where Tanji wins it?
Ooh. If they won the Big Ten tournament for sure, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I think that's literally what it would need to be. Like if he goes out and has like 25 and they beat Maryland, then yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay. All
I
right.
mean,
That's
answer
all.
that. You've seen Tanji twice now. You've seen Braden once, and I assume you've watched every Purdue game just like I have. Who's the best player in this league?
It's still Braden Smith, but
Who had
it's
the best season?
Tanji.
That's where I'm at. I think Braden's the better player. Tanji had the better season, and it's
Yeah.
very back and forth.
Yeah. It's
There's
very
not
bad.
really a right or wrong answer, but Braden has faltered badly in the final
Yeah.
month.
Yeah. True.
But so did Tanji before this tournament. So like
Right.
I don't it weird year. Like I don't know. I've talked about how we will remember Braden and Edie together as like this really special thing. We'll remember Braden individually special too. But it does feel like a year where like as talented as the league is, there wasn't like this easy answer superstar guy, you know?
Yeah.
Even the best players had big time struggles.
Yeah. Facts.
But all right. Is Wisconsin gonna win this tournament?
No.
Maryland.
Yeah. Also, I don't have the game on right now. Can you just quickly how's it going?
We got Maryland up 3 with 8 minutes left in the first half. Been a really entertaining first half.
Okay, let me tap it. How's my king doing?
He's hooping. Derek Queen has like
Yeah.
11.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I love that. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me go
Yep. All
tap
right.
in.
All
All
right.
right.
Thanks for watching this week, everybody. We'll have a lot more NCAA tournament coverage for you soon. A lot to play for, Michigan State fans. Great season. And unfortunately, Save the Big Ten may have died here in the semifinals. That's a bummer.